Good evening. Hello. How are you? My name is Martha Davis Alexander. I am the host of Through the Looking Glass with Martha. And tonight we are going to be talking about getting stuck in the holidays. And when I say getting stuck, I mean emotionally getting triggered or emotionally having to deal with something that you're not prepared for. And any comment in a family situation can do that, or even just the holidays can do that. My mom died the Friday before Thanksgiving. So I tend to get a little triggered at this time. And I thought maybe it might be helpful to share some of the things that I do to get unstuck. So the first thing, here's I want to preface all of this. When you get stuck, right? Sorry, I just got a hot flash. When you get stuck in something or when you get triggered, it's about a lot of times fear or a prior mindset. And what fear just makes you do some silly things sometimes. How you get out of it is all about getting from your head where fear exists, right? This is where the gremlin talks. This is where our self-saboteur talks. This is where all the kooky things happen, is all in our head. When we think about stuff, when we spin about stuff, when we stay stuck in our story, when we stay stuck in somebody else's story. It all happens in your head. So one of the keys of getting out of that place is to hit your body, get in your body, not literally hit it, although that would get you in your body, but to do something physical that takes your mind out of here and into your space. So I'm going to take just a few minutes. If you're driving, you can listen, but don't do this. Otherwise, if you can grab a comfortable seat, put your feet on the floor, kind of get grounded. But if you want your feet up or you want to lay down, we're going to do a breathing exercise. It's going to be a few minutes. And this is something that you can in the middle of something excuse yourself and say, you know what? I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Or I need a bio break. Or, you know what? I need to go catch a breath of fresh air. All right. And then you can take a few minutes and do this. All right. So I'm going to show you I'm going to talk you through it. And I'm going to show you kind of how deep the breath goes. Because breathing is the best thing to bring those emotions down and get to that place of calm. Where you can kind of have some clarity and handle more than you might otherwise. All right. So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to breathe in really deeply. And when I say breathe deeply, I mean you're increasing your stomach, you're taking in as much air as your chest and your diaphragm can take in. All right. You're going to exhale harshly. All right. You're going to make noise. Awesome. So go ahead and close your eyes. Get comfortable. Relax. We're going to let your shoulders relax. We're going to let your arms relax. Kind of wiggle your fingers. See is there anything that's got stress? Make sure that you've let your shoulders relax and go down. Go down. Kind of wiggle your hips. See, is there any tension there? Are you holding tension in your legs, in your hips, in your knees, right? Wiggle your toes so that you know where they are and you know how they're feeling, right? So just go ahead and make sure that your body is in a state of relaxation. And whatever you can let go, let go. We're going to take our first really deep breath. And I want you to imagine a beautiful positive light, and it can be any color you want it to be. And that light is going to come in and it's going to go down all the way to your toes. And your toes are going to start tingling with that brilliant light. And as you're starting to fill your toes and your feet up, you're going to exhale out all the negative stuff from today, from this week, from your thoughts. You're going to exhale all of that out, and it comes out gray and gunky, and you're just going to imagine all that stuff leaving. And ask that it be transformed into positive energy. And then you're going to take another really deep breath, again, envisioning that beautiful breath and that energy coming in, and it starts to fill up your legs. You can feel it tingling in your knees, starts to fill up your thighs, to your hips. You're going to exhale all negative stuff out. Just let it all go. Let it all go. Let it release from your body. Don't store it. You're going to take another really deep breath, and you're imagining that beautiful light, and it's filling you from your sacrum all the way up, and you can feel it infiltrating and being part of every cell of your body. You're going to exhale negative, whatever's left, all that gray. And you're going to inhale again, and now you can feel it coming up your shoulders and down your shoulders, and it's tingling in your fingertips. And you're starting to feel light and relaxed and airy and calm. And you're going to exhale the remaining gunk. The remaining gray is coming out in your exhale. You're going to take one last really deep breath. And that beautiful light is going to climb all the way up and out your crown chakra and around you. And that with that last exhale, you let go of everything that's left. So when you do this, you can now open your eyes and kind of start feeling your body, right, move around. It's a sense of calm. It's a sense of peace. It's a sense, I can handle this. It's going to be okay. I want you to really pay attention when you do this exercise, that you're taking yourself from thoughts into your body, and you're changing, you're setting a different mindset, you're changing a different flow. Beautiful. Other things that you can do include petting an animal, right? Really connecting with your cat, your dog, your bird, whatever you have. Talking to them. And so that you're focused on something other than yourself. You're focused on communicating with another being. Petting a dog, right? The feeling, or a cat, the feel of the fur. What does it feel like? Are they warm? Are they cold? Are they, is their nose wet? Is it cold? Is it warm? Feeling the ears, right? Scratching their belly. Whatever it is, when you have a pet that is in joy, it is really hard to stay triggered, because that joy exudes from your pet into your very being. So when I wake up in the morning, my dog is so excited that it's hard not to get out of bed with a smile on my face. Even when I say I'm not a morning person, it is hard to get out of bed without a smile, with that much energy and happy and exuberance. So connecting with that energy of my dogs always gets me out of a funk. Another thing you can do is to take a walk out in nature, particularly if you like nature, and perhaps if it's not snowing or raining. But any of those. I like to stand in the rain. I like to walk in snow. I like to go just look at tree bark. I'm a huge tree girl. I love trees. And I love to look at the bark and see what designs I can see in the bark. That for sure takes me out of whatever my story is that I'm telling myself and puts me smack dab in my body, paying attention into sight and even texture, and seeing my imagination, seeing what I can see in the bark. Listening to the birds. My grandma used to always listen to birds. Grammy loved birds, and she had bird books. That's why I have like 6 bird books, and she would identify them. So how many birds, if you're outside, can you identify next to you? I have a friend who likes to identify scat. We were Boy Scouts once. We were Boy Scout leaders or Cub Scout leaders once. So we learned all of that fun stuff. So it's really a matter of taking yourself out of the emotion side of your brain and putting yourself in your body and allowing yourself to experience something else. Give yourself a break, cutting ties with that moment and getting to this moment. Other things, calling a friend, checking in with them, finding out what's going on with them. That gets you out of your story and into them. Now, I'm not saying call your friend and tell them everything that's going on in your head. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying call your friend and check in on them. See what's going on for them and be a support buddy for them. Now, if you really, really need venting, you really need to vent in order to move that energy after you've done a few of these exercises, by all means, call your friend and say, hey, I just need to vent. I'm not complaining. I'm not doing it to stay stuck in my story. I am doing this to move past my story. I am doing this to move past so that I can clear my energy. And when you start that conversation, I want you, and I learned this through Fearless Living with Rhonda Britton. I want you to be really clear that you ask permission to vent, because it's not always an appropriate time. Someone might be in the middle of something or on the way to something, and they don't have that space or that capacity to witness that and hold that space for you, because that's what you're asking them to do. When you ask someone if you can vent, you're asking them, will you hold this space while I move my energy? And in telling them that you just want to vent, you let them know, I don't need any feedback. I don't need anything from you. I just need you to hear and witness this thing that happened, or this thing that I'm going through, or this thing that I'm thinking. If you want someone to coach you, then you can say, hey, I need you to ask me questions and get to what's really going on in my stuff. Okay, so we can vent to a partner. You can take a shower and feel the shower falling, feel the water and listen to the water, or a bath. Either of those. Water is a very conductive element. It helps to take you out of your head and into your body space so that you can let go. Water is phenomenal. But what happens? So now this is tied to the holidays, right? Getting unstuck for the holidays. How does taking a bath or a shower help me in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner? It doesn't. But here's what can. If you get triggered, hopefully you have a glass of water. And if make sure you do have water or something at the table, right? Not wine, not alcohol. That does not help you. I'm not saying don't drink it. I'm just saying for this exercise, that wouldn't be overly helpful for you. I've tried it, so just no, don't. If someone says something, and we all know who those people in our families are that say something and you're like, I cannot believe they said that or they did that. Here's the thing. Grab your water And rather than respond or say something, and you can say, if it's directed at you, can say, that's really interesting. Grab your water and drink it. And as you take each sip, feel it going down. The water's cold, right? Pay attention to how it feels to drink water. It may sound really silly, but try it. When you are drinking something and you pay attention, it can be hot tea, it can be anything, coffee, whatever. As you're drinking it, you're paying attention to the sensation down your throat and see how far you can track it. I can't get very far, but I always try. And take another sip, right? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Now, here's what I'll tell you. Water tastes differently depending upon where you are. I learned that from my son when he was very young. I really didn't pay much attention, and he knows where water is good. That kid, I'm telling you, he'll say, I will never go there again without bottled water or without my own supply of water or whatever. It is something that he knows. So if you have that, just make sure you have something you can drink. And feel it, taste it. What does it taste like? Does it have an odd taste? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it warm? Does it tickle? Does it quench your thirst? All of those things. And as you're thinking, because you're focusing on a bodily sensation, as you're thinking that, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm good, right? Then you can get back to whatever the conversation is. You can ignore it. You can say, that was interesting. I disagree with you, or I don't share that opinion, and let's move on. I'm going to give you at the end of the show, I'm going to give you some other, I'm going to brainstorm some other ways to get out of conversations or to get out of things, because, we all need to do that during our shows or during our holiday. What about on those times, like right now, my best friend has, God bless you, Chris, has all of her Christmas shopping done. Yeah, I haven't started yet. I don't even have any ideas right now. Yeah, that's where I am with it. So as we get closer to Christmas, I'm going to be getting a little more stressed about Christmas shopping and money spent and other things. Because, gosh, that part of the holiday really is great for kids and is really stressful for adults sometimes. So, a couple of things. I certainly breathe. I do a lot of deep breathing. I have some crystals that I like to hold in my hand, that I just like to feel the smoothness of them. I like to feel, are they cold? Are they warm? Do they warm in my hand? I like to look at the colors. I like to look at the designs, and I feel the energy in the stone. It took me a long time to be able to do that, and I do that. So what can you put in your hand that can help relieve some of that? When you're at the Thanksgiving, I'm going to go back to Thanksgiving. When we come back from break, I'm going to talk about shopping and kind of money mindset and setting some intentions for Christmas and whatever, just so that that's good for you. This is Through the Looking Glass with Martha. My website is throughthelookingglasswithmartha.com. You can reach me at marthadalexander@gmail.com. My phone number is 805-422-6865. This is Through the Looking Glass with Martha on goingsolomedia.com. And I cannot wait to talk more about getting unstuck for the holidays, because they're coming, and they're coming fast. And it's all about family when we talk about that. So we'll get back to you right after this break. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Martha Davis Alexander. I'm a recovering attorney and a certified fearless living coach. I host this Through the Looking Glass with Martha. You can reach me at throughthelookinglasswithmartha.com or marthadalexander@gmail.com, 805-422-6865. We are talking about getting unstuck for the holidays, or if you're unstuck, how to get unstuck during the holidays. So there are a couple things that I want to talk about, and I'm going to give you a few other tips at the end for more ways to kind of get out if you have a little bit of time, more ways for you to get unstuck and out of your head and into forward movement. So one of the things one of the few things that I loved about Weight Watchers, I did lose weight on it, but then I gained it all back. Anyway, one of the things that I really liked about Weight Watchers and learned as a lifelong lesson is preparation, right? So I knew coming up on Thanksgiving that when I was going to a Thanksgiving dinner, to plan the things that I wanted to eat, to know what was important to me. Did I want that piece of pecan pie, which, by the way, is one of my favorite all-time pies, and it ate like 800 calories a slice, which kills me. Hope I didn't ruin pecan pie for you people. That ruined it for me. So maybe I just shared the love. Anyway, I had to plan out how big a slice I would take, and what was important for me during that day. Was I going to exercise to burn the calories? What was I going to do to have what I wanted? And what I didn't need to have everything, right? So they had you pre-plan out what you were going to do. They had you strategize. Before you took another helping, you drank a glass of water. When you were eating appetizers, you ate the vegetables, not the chips and the dip. Or the bread and the cheese. So you carefully planned and prepared yourself for those boundaries, those things, those intentions that you were going to do for the holidays. This is really similar. That is exactly what I do to prep being any family event. I plan intentionally how I want to show up, how I want to behave. It doesn't always work. Hasn't always worked. It works better now. And what are the things I am going to lean on and get support with? So I talk to my husband, or I deal with things, right? I have plans in place for what I want and how I'm going to do stuff. Not just for the food, but also for conversations. So I have a brother who is diametrically opposed to, we have diametrically opposite opinions politically, morally, everything are diametrically opposed. And my answer to that is, it's just not a discussion I'm going to have. I know his opinions. He knows mine. The last time we talked about it, I got a little really angry about it and very upset, and it lasted for a while. And in truth, I love each of my family members. It doesn't matter what their opinions are, whether I agree with them or not, or whether they agree with me. I love them, and that's okay. So I just know what I'm not going to discuss and what I'm not going to engage in. So if that conversation were to come up, I would say, I think that for me, that is not a discussion I choose to discuss today. Maybe another time, not today. This is supposed to be joyful and family gathering, and that will not be a joyful thing for me. Yeah, go talk to your brother. Go talk to the other brother. Or whatever it is. So that's one way. I am not going to choose to discuss that. I really had an intention that this would be a joyous, happy day, and that subject is not something I want to deal with today. If you can't say that, I know there are a lot of parents who are like, when are you getting married, or when are you having kids? The answer to that is, wow, that's a really good question. I will absolutely let you know when I figure that out myself. And then say, you know what, excuse me for a second. I promised I'd help in the kitchen, or I promised, I need to take a bio break, or I need to take the dog for a walk, or I need to get I need to check in with so-and-so for just a second. I'll catch you in a minute. When you go do something else, right, make sure that you're practicing getting in your body so that you don't get stuck. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. She blah, 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 right? We can all see those wheels start. You all know what those wheels are for yourself. You can see those starting. So how do you get out of that place? So you can go to the bathroom and breathe and do a quick breathing exercise. You can you can splash water on your face. For me, because I wear makeup, I would probably get a washcloth or something and just splash water on the back of my neck and feel that. You can look up Brad, and we've had it up here before, Brad, who does tapping on YouTube, and he can take you through the tapping, and that would help. You can walk outside, do any of those things, and come back. Do not stay stuck in what was said to you or the intent, or make up anything about that. Just let it be. That really is how you get unstuck for the holidays. You do not take anything personally. You do not allow it to even penetrate. You keep yourself as much as possible out of your head and your story. And that is it sounds easier than it is. And I know that. And years of experience being a child of divorce. My parents were divorced when I was 7. So I totally understand that there are triggers and that it can be more challenging than you want. If you're in a cold state, one of my favorite things to do was to go out in the snow, grab a snowball and throw it, right? Throw a couple, see what you can hit. That was one of my favorite things to do. If you are, take a walk, talk to somebody else, laugh, put on your headset. This is one of my all-time favorites, right? Put on music. You can go to the bathroom. You can go to a bedroom for this. You can do it in front of everyone, whatever whatever floats your boat. Put on a song and dance or sing. Get someone to play charades or get someone to do something fun with you that gets you out of that situation. When you're raising kids, it's called redirection, right? You're redirecting the behavior to something else. Here's the thing, peeps. It works for adults too. We can redirect ourselves into an action or a behavior that is helpful to us and our keeps us out of our head and gets our emotions under control. We can ground them. We can make them anything we want them to be, if you choose to do that. So another tip. So we did the singing, and I do love that one. I love putting on music and dancing. Breathing is a big one for me. Taking a tall glass of water is a big one for me. If I'm at my house, maybe doing the dishes, right? Because it gets me out of my head and I can just do the chore and get something done. What else can you do? What helps you? What is some of your favorite things to do? It's not limited by my list, right? You can go punch a punching bag. That always helped my kids. Go punch a punching bag if there's one in the house. Not somebody, but a punching bag, an actual punching bag. You can make something. Go help in the kitchen. Set the table. Or just get out of the house and come back and with a reframe, right? Play with the pet. Other things you can do, and this is something I suggest before the holidays, a prep for the holidays, right? I'm going to see Aunt Jane. Don't have one in my family, so that's good. I'm going to see Aunt Jane. And she's going to annoy me because blah, 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 blah. This thing I did, 2 years ago, and she keeps bringing it up, or 20 years ago, and she keeps bringing it up, and it's really annoying. You can journal about that beforehand. You can just write it on out, everything about it, and then burn it. You can write a letter of forgiveness to her for continuing to stay in that story and burn it. Or being willing to forgive her. You could call Aunt Jane, depending upon your relationship, and say, you know what? I've been thinking about it. And the biggest worry for me this Thanksgiving is that you're going to bring this up. And I just feel so bad when that comes up because that was blah, blah, blah. It was a mistake, whatever it was, because that makes me, because when this comes up, I feel blank. And I really don't want to be reminded of it anymore. So could you do me a favor and maybe not bring it up again? I'd so appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And actually handle that, right? Because sometimes it's just a matter of communication. Matter just calling and saying, can you not do that, please? Remember your nonviolent communication words, right? I felt or feel blank when blank happens. Would you be willing to help me? I would like blank. Would you be willing to help me by doing blank, right? So now money. Set an intention. Set a budget. What are you going to spend? What do you want to get? What are the best ideas? And set reasonable Sometimes kids have unreasonable expectation for what's going to be. I know I have certainly done that to my kids. They have unreasonable expectations as to what's possible. And my intent is to let them know this is not going to be a huge Christmas this year. It just isn't. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We will still have a phenomenal time. We will still have a great thing. And I'm not going to be stuck. I am not going to keep myself stuck, worried about what I'm going to do for them. I'm going to talk to them about it, and I'll get some ideas from them, and then I'm going to do what's within my budget and have fun doing it. I actually thought this year about doing you can only do handmade gifts this year. Then I decided I don't have time to make anything, so it's going to have to be shopping, probably online shopping. So these are just a few things that you can do to be unstuck for the holidays. There's a stuck money-wise. Do not rack up a ton of debt for a holiday. This is a really hard time of year for me. I have a son whose birthday is mid-Christmas, and then we have Christmas, and then my next son is 2 weeks later, and then my daughter is 2 weeks after that with her birthday. So I have all the birthdays and Christmas all in like a 6-week period of time. So it's a little more money than normal. And we've really decided this year to have the intention not to stress about it and not to go into debt for Christmas. That everyone will be fine. It's all good. We all have everything we need to have, and everything else is extra. So those are a few. Gosh, I wish this was a live audience and y'all could ask questions, but it's not. So I'm going to leave you with a couple words, and that's the holidays are time for joy, being with family, fun, and really having quality time. When in a dysfunctional family, that doesn't quite work. Today's show is all about the tools you can use to reframe the situation, get out of the situation, and go back to the original intent. It's all about getting out of one snag and getting to be able to reset your mind to go back. I hope these serve you well. I would love for you to email me at marthadalexander@gmail.com with any questions or with anything that came up that you want to share with me, and I will talk about it on the show. Emails that you guys send me that are watch the radio show, have a question, I will absolutely put on this radio show. I will absolutely say your name, and unless you don't want me to, and we will talk about what you want to talk about. I would love to do that. You can reach me at 805-422-6865, or again, Martha D. Alexander@gmail.com. And it's through the looking glass with Martha.com. And I do have resources there, and I will be adding more. My intent at some point is to add an MP3 of that breathing exercise on there as well. Hopefully I'll do it before Thanksgiving, but don't hold me to that. This is Through the Looking Glass with Martha on Going Solo Network. And every Thursday at this time, I am on talking about family-related shows or family-related issues, topics. For me, mine stem from being the child of parents who got divorced and some of the long-term impacts, and I do talk about those. So be sure to check it out and tell your friends, and come back and join us next week. And please email me. I really like hearing from you when you guys do that. It really makes my day. Thank you so much, and I wish you guys a joyful and happy week.